That's why a team like that isn't going to go as far as they should, because Evan Mobley has not lived up to his billing yet. Like, he should be low-key by now, almost like Kevin Garnett, but like not Kevin Garnett. Like, that's who he should be, but he isn't him. He's a good player, but like, he's not him.
I mean, a lot of people thought he was going to be the next Kevin Garnett.
I thought the skill was there. It seemed like he could do it. But then when you sit up and you look at fucking Wemby, like Wemby has lived up to the bill, especially the second half of the season. Wemby is about to run this league, bro. Like he not, for whatever reason, they're not going to give him DPOY this year. He will win DPOY next year. Like, he's going to be the betting favorite. He is. He's going to be the betting favorite. He's going to make all NBA second team, maybe even first, depending on.
Joker. Embiid.
I don't give a fuck. He's second. He's going to be second, though. Bro, he's 19 or 18. How old is Wemby? He's 19 or 18. 20. Like what he's done in the second half of the season is more indicative of who he's going to be. And, like, he's going to be let's just say next year, he's going to be a 25-12.
4 blocks.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck can you do? Hey, honestly, as crazy as this sounds, maybe even 2 steals. Like, almost up to 2 steals, like a steal and a half. Because that's what he's doing.
He's still going to be third team, man. Embiid was 35 and 11 when he got hurt.
The All-Star game.
That's a different conversation.
They should do an NBA All-Star weekend out of the country. We talk about the Super Bowl and all this other stuff. Can you imagine if they did do an NBA All-Star game in London or Paris?
It would be bad for the American ratings because of the timepiece.
Well, that or they just set it up to where it's set up to match up with the American timepiece.
And that's a lot of travel and a lot of old players complaining.
People already partying anyways. And if they get out there and they're acclimated to where they're going to be playing at a certain time, it would still be like they're on American time in a weird way.
Yeah, you're right. But I guess we're going to open up with NBA since that's kind of what we were doing pre-production. How you doing today, Parlay Pete?
We're doing pretty good. I like how you're at Truist because it's baseball season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I figure I'll pick different Atlanta backgrounds each week to, show people where I'm at and where my heart is.
Well, you notice I'm wearing a Japanese baseball jersey. It's not my man that gave up all the
runs.
The runs in the first inning that got $300 million. But he played against these teams, and I was out there for a game. I didn't watch him play, but like,
is it your man's that gave up all that money at the casino?
Ty Lue?
Nah, you heard about Otani's translator, right?
Yeah, but no. It's not his jersey. I mean, he didn't play baseball. I get your joke, but like, no.
No, the Ty Lue joke was funny. You could have went with Bruno Mars as well.
Well, he does it where I do it, so
he's gonna get his money back because he's just gonna go be there.
$90 a year.
Yeah, and he's gonna go do a residency.
Well, he's been having a residency, so that's why they're not worried about it. Plus, if they got him stationed out there, he's kind of like the Monstars. What the Monstars were trying to do with Michael Jordan in Space Jam, when they were like, he'll live on Moron Mountain and like they had him like chained, but he's like playing basketball against people every day. Like, that's basically what it is. But you know what? You got to be, for one, you have to have a serious gambling problem. You can have a serious gambling problem and lose it anyway. But if you lose it like playing cards, I don't even know how you could sit at a card table. Actually, I take that back. No, I don't know how you could do millions. And I'm here to tell you.
Hold on, here we go.
If you win, you get me. Good deal, boss.
Doc, you think that's a good idea?
You'll be our star attraction. You'll sign autographs all day long and play one-on-one with the paying customers. And you'll always lose.
But I was scared he was going to be stuck on Moron Mountain for real.
You knew that wasn't going to happen. I need Kentucky to come back and cover this spread, brother. If they cover the spread, I got $10,000 waiting on me.
What's the spread?
13. It's tied now.
No, they're up one.
Part of the second half. Well, the thing is that they should cover. They should cover. They should cover. But everybody talks about what people should do, and they don't do it. Like, it never happens that way.
Yeah, like Josh Holsey should watch games and not just comment based on the box score.
And you knew Josh was going to be really happy about the Olympics and that. And actually, his reasoning behind it was great. He's like, well, nobody's going to really watch all the Olympic events, so this is great. He had a very good point there. But it's just like, well, Josh, on Sunday, there's 5 games in the noon slot. There's 5 games in the 4 o'clock slot. There's 1 in the 8. There's 1 on Monday. And then there's 1 on Thursday. There are pretty much your 13 games. And I guess before bye weeks, because there's 4 teams per bye week, typically, get it together, brother, is all I could say to him. But
you're kind of showing your hand there, buddy.
Kentucky is acting like some hoes right now.
Hey, speaking of Kentucky, has Coach Cal been a disappointment at Kentucky, only having one?
Absolutely. He only has 1 national championship in like 16 years. He should have at least 2.
I was having a conversation.
They went to another one and lost, right? They did go to another one, but they lost.
And they didn't get to one when they had John Wall and Boogie Cousins, which is crazy.
He's had a ton of talented teams that should have went. I mean, the Cat Book team should have went. The team that Drake sat down with should have went. Like, that's a team that should have went.
I mean, Book was coming off the bench.
I know, which should tell you just how talented the team really was.
But yeah, I was having a conversation with a friend about Kentucky, and I go, well, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are upset because they're not winning championships, but my God, he keeps putting guys in the league. They keep getting max contracts, and the thought is some of those guys are funneling some money back to Daddy Cal, right?
But that's the whole reason that they came is because of Cal. In reality, like, yeah, Kentucky's a brand, but you got to think about it. Before Cal got there, Sampson coached there, who's at Houston, Houston's won. They're a 1 seed this year, but he's a good coach. Like, and his shit was more scandalous. He was like in that Rick Pitino boat of scandal at Kentucky. Pitino was there. Like,
Tubby was there.
Huh?
Tubby was there.
Tubby was there. Tubby came to UGA and didn't do nothing, though. So
here's the thing about Coach Cal.
The job for Tubby then, because Tubby didn't do nothing at UGA.
You're right. Here's the thing about
and UGA has the money.
Here's the thing about Coach Cal, though, right? He talks about how his goal is to change these guys' lives. And if that's his goal, he's achieving it.
Yeah, because they're all getting drafted and getting paid.
I mean, John Wall, he got paid $250 million to pretty much not play basketball ever again.
Yeah. John Wall is he is the poster boy of what you can get from a guy like Cal. They're not.
Yeah, but men's college basketball, like, who are your top 5 players in men's college basketball this year by now?
I couldn't tell you. There's the boy out of Tennessee that's really good.
No. I need a name.
Connect or something like that. He's good. Man, let me tell you, after watching some tournament games, that motherfucker for Colorado is raw as fuck. He cost me about $10,000 yesterday. He's raw. That motherfucker was raw as shit. I was like, God damn, he's not fucking missing. There's a dude. I'm just talking about, and look, I bet on this stuff, but like, it's some dudes I've seen that have been raw. I know the dude at Tennessee is really good, but obviously Edey, people put him Purdue center, like he's up there, but like, there's no Zion. Zion was the last big college basketball star, in my opinion. But
all right, so name some stars in women's college basketball.
Well, you got Angel Reeves, you got Caitlin Clark, you got the girl out of USC,
Juju.
You got Paige Buchers.
You got Flage.
Yeah, so like, yeah, and I know you put that in the group or in our personal messages about how can we change that? The issue is this: the top players that go to the NBA more and more now are international anyway. So, and they don't play college ball. Enes Kanter might be the last international player that actually played college basketball that was a top 3 pick. Like, people forget Enes Kanter went to Kentucky and played with Cal and was the 3rd pick overall. Like, people they really don't realize that Enes Kanter was like the 3rd pick in the draft too. And he wasn't a player, but he played college basketball. Most of these guys don't. And G League Ignite, which I know we're going to maybe talk a little bit more in depth. Well, hell, we might as well bring that up now too. Yeah. G League Ignite, they're ending it, right? So, like,
NIL's here.
Yeah, but G League Ignite is essentially just that, right? Like, that was the, if you don't want to play college ball, you can come here and you can, make a name. Scoot Henderson being somebody. Who else? I can't even name the other guys that were G League.
Kuminga.
Okay, Bucket. Okay. Who else though?
I can't think of anybody. Jalen Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green was one of those dudes. Look at him; he's fucking Drea these days.
Here's what I think needs to happen, because you rattled off some of the girls' names, and you still got Van Lith. You got the 6'7" chick out. You got Cardosa. And now we turn it to the NBA versus the WNBA, and like, we can name off some WNBA players, but that's because Candace Parker and Diana Taurasi have been playing in the WNBA for like 18 years, and they need to hang it up. Especially Candace Parker and those bad knees. But I really think that we should change how we view basketball, in the sense that, for one, allow kids to come out of high school again.
Okay.
I think we should shift away from the one and done culture. So you actually have kids who are coming to college to develop their games and then possibly become an NBA prospect. Maybe after 1 year. Okay. Maybe after 2, 3, or 4.
So then do you make it to where the rule is that you can come out of high school, but if you don't, you have to spend at least 2 or 3. You have to make it like the NFL. You have to spend 3 years.
Well, similar to baseball, because like baseball, you can come out like after 2 or 3.
They have too many rounds of the draft. There's only 2 in the NBA.
But I think that.
But everybody knows that for the most part, yeah, you can be a 2nd round pick and be starting in the NBA. But like, if you're really not a lottery pick, it's a good chance you sit on the bench.
So yes,
because the NBA is talented,
and like, you're not developing.
About development. Literally.
Yeah, so like, stay in college another year and play ball. So LeBron
and baseball don't play immediately. Like, number 1 pick does not play.
No,
his first year. He waits about 3 years at least, and if you're really special, maybe 2. Like, plus the international circuit for them too, where there's so many guys from the Caribbean in general that are like top notch. Like Ronald Acuna. When they talked about Ronald Acuna, because remember, he was a part of the dude that got fired. John Coppola, because they were doing illegal shit to get him. But it was well worth it for the Braves organization, because he turned out most people think he's the best player in baseball.
Yeah.
Even over Ohtani. There's people that think that he's a better baseball player.
I mean, he was the number 1 player in that poll we looked at earlier.
Yeah, he's just not a pitcher. Right? Like, Ohtani's different because he can pitch, but like, in terms of fielding and hitting, he might be better than Ohtani. In reality, he really might be.
Yeah, so,
and he's younger.
But yeah, I think that also, like, LeBron James and JJ Redick were talking about this on their podcast. Because I watched it, because those are like 2 of my favorite basketball players ever.
You're a big JJ guy?
Oh, I'm a Duke fan.
Oh, that's disgusting, Lee.
Look here, me and Boink, we hold it down for Duke, and
Justin
as well.
Justin grew up a big Duke fan. He liked JJ Redick. I liked Adam Morrison, but I was a Georgetown. I grew up a Georgetown fan, so I liked
Big John.
I liked Jeff Green, the Jeff Green, Roy Hibbert team, Monroe. Like, they were they had their.
Hold on. Yeah. But let me get back to this point, right? they were talking about how you get these like a lot, how so many players who actually last in the NBA are post lottery role players because everybody coming out is not going to be a star, and far too many front offices focus on drafting a star in the lottery, and there's only so many stars, and then these guys play terrible basketball for their first contract. Maybe they get a second contract, but they end up not lasting in the league, and it's not necessarily a talent thing. It's just adjusting to the game. And I think that if you have these guys who sit around college and maybe they don't come in as the guy, their freshman year because there's a junior, a 21-year-old grown man who legally drinks beer and can play basketball, who's learned the game and is just a wiser, more seasoned basketball player. You learn how to play a role, and then you eventually become a star. And then when you get to the NBA, you actually know how to play team basketball. And hey, if you're not going to be the guy on the ball, you still know how to play the game.
Right.
Also saw this other thing is a study talking about how the tech generation is messing up not athleticism, it's messing up competition, and how you spend so much time being focused on yourself when you're like playing like computer games and video games and stuff like that. And you're not going outside and playing and having to like fight through stuff because you can kind of just turn off the video game if you suck or turn the sliders down and beat it. And I thought that was very interesting. And tying it into basketball, I think there's far too much focus on working out with a trainer and working on your individual game, where basketball is not an individual sport. And when you get to the highest level and you're not the best player on your team, guess what? You don't get to be the guy with the ball. We talk about Patrick Beverly a lot, where he was averaging 37 a game in Chicago.
He was a basketball haven, like a place where there's actually basketball. Like
he was, if I remember correctly, he was a teen scorer at Arkansas before he had to leave. You know what I mean? Which in college basketball, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Let me see. What is it? He averaged. Let me see. His freshman year, he averaged 14 points a game in the SEC. His sophomore year, he averaged 12 points per game. He was getting points, and then he comes to the league and it's like, yeah, no, you're playing defense. And I don't know, man. Does the European system have it right? Because they got 5 great players, but the rest of the league's good players are Americans.
Well, when you say does the league have it right, what do you mean?
I'm saying the European style of basketball, the academies, the way that they play, is that the right way? Because there's been an attack on the AAU system in America and how these players are being coddled and the prima donnas and all.
Well, there's a lot of dick sucking, bro. Because when a dude can be a great one-on-one player, the assumption is that if you put them around the right players or even other really good players, it'll work. Because even if they get the attention, they're not selfish enough to hold the ball. Like I never was around anyone like you. Tell me if you were ever around somebody like that. And that's in an era where social media wasn't a thing. But like even the teams that my brother played on, there was one NBA player, like Glenn Rice Jr. was an NBA player. So like he's somebody that I was around like a lot. And Glenn was good. I don't even know if Glenn was necessarily the best player on that team, like because the team was so good. But they built that team together pretty well during that time period for the AAU circuit. But like people suck Glenn's dick because for one, he's an NBA player, and his dad was a good NBA player. Like his dad's the borderline Hall of Fame guy, right? Like Glenn Rice won an All-Star MVP with Michael Jordan sharing the floor with him. So like he was a good because he was an All-Star, but then
he averaged 18 a game playing in the
90s. I don't know if Glenn Rice's jersey's retired, but it might be retired in Charlotte. I don't know. Like he was a pretty good player in the NBA, but I knew that. Everybody knows that when you're in the gym. Obviously, with Colin, I wasn't around Colin during his AAU circuit era. I was up there for everything leading up to it, though. And he's a different case of a person in general because he didn't blow up until going into his senior year. Like he was unranked, and then he was automatic. Then he went into the top 10. But he went from unranked to top 10 because he showed out at camps and shit over the summer. And everybody was like, oh, no, he can fucking play. Like, he's a baller. But that AAU circuit is such a different, like, beast in terms of the hype machine. Like, let me tell you who the top players were when my brother was playing. In his class, the top dude, man, I remember they played.
What was his graduating class?
He's 2009. So Lance Stevenson was a really good player for the New York Gauchos. The New York Gauchos, that's where Cameron played. It's the top AAU team in New York. They played against Lance Stevenson, and I saw the game. Lance Stevenson was somebody whose dick got sucked religiously, like, because he's a New York hooper, right? Like, and even where he came out of, like, even though Georgia, California, Texas, Florida puts out the best athletes, like, he was one of the people that got their dicks up. Plumlee, they played against them in Indiana. I forgot the name of their team. I think it was like Indiana Elite or something. But they played against one of the Plumlee brothers too, and they lost. Like, and my brother played for the Georgia Stars. Obviously, Georgia Stars is them and the Atlanta Celtics.
Yep,
those are the top teams in Georgia. My brother played on one of those teams, and so, like, the thing is now, and my brother wasn't no star. Like, my brother was a bench player, but, like, even sitting through that shit then, I had to watch it. Sometimes I recorded the games. Coach D would have me recording. Like, I was recording. And, like, the difference between today and then is totally different, because a dude like what's-his-face that was going to go to jail, that was going to Memphis, Mikey, that dude had been, like, covered for, like, 4 years. And then
he had an NIL deal like his junior year of high school.
Bates, that went to Memphis, another dude.
Monty
like,
Bates.
These were dudes that were covered heavily. Bro, they haven't done a goddamn thing. And so I feel like that does ruin college basketball too, because the superstardom headed in is even more ridiculous. Like, there are some guys like a LeBron James, even though we were in the AAU circuit when LeBron came out. I never saw LeBron play like at Peach Jam or any of these, like, big ass tournaments. But my thing is this: LeBron, it was all warranted, not because we know now, but because LeBron James was also different in high school too.
You know what's funny? I was having a conversation talking to my partner Adrian, who's like, you're talking about the best basketball players you've played with. Watch, he's the best basketball player I've played with, right? And he was on the circuit. He played with the Celtics. He played with Lou Will's team. He played for the Stars, all that stuff, right? He played on the top teams. Like, he knows your friends, right? And we've talked about this.
Yeah. Because he knows Jay Cali. He knows the Gates. He knows, yeah.
Yeah, and he played with these guys, right? So I remember in 7th grade in a game, he's the best player on the team. He passed me the ball for a game winner. He's not supposed to pass me the ball for the game winner. But he pulled up. He was double teamed. I was wide open on the block.
He made a basketball play.
Yeah, passed and won, right? That's like the last game winner I hit. But on a serious note, though, like, we were talking about Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, because Michael Kidd-Gilchrist played up, and he was on the same AAU team as Dion Waiters. And, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, great potential, body, athleticism, but he can't shoot. He couldn't shoot, which is why he washed out of the league.
Yeah.
And he was like, all Gilchrist did was get into the basket, dunking shit, catching oops, dunking on people. And he was coddled because that worked at that level. But nobody took the time to say, hey, man, you might want to get a 14-foot jump shot.
At a bare minimum. And but here's the thing too. When you be sucking a nigga's dick, pause, like how the way that, like, we're talking about our era, before social media. Like, I just think about how, like, people used to look at, like, I look at just my brother's teammates, because Glenn's like I said earlier, Glenn's the only one that went to the NBA. Mm-hmm. So the rest of them, like, Jay Cali still plays overseas, played at Tulane, had a really good career. He was a 4-year starter at Tulane. Good. I mean, to be a 4-year starter, that's pretty fucking good, man. Like, I think that's good. My boy Latana played with him. Latana went to Tulane first. I know Latana. Like I played with Latana. Like Latana's a good player. Plays
Jay
overseas.
Cali has a Wikipedia.
This is what I'm saying. Latana does too. But this is what I'm saying. Like these dudes, like these were good players. Like I've been around these good players too, and I've got to see this stuff up close in person. Nobody was really like it. Like these other dudes, like the Ball brothers, for instance. Like bro, they couldn't go nowhere without people wanting autographs. Now, granted, does LeVar have a piece in that? He built more of a brand for them ahead of time. Sure, sure, like because he was a spectacle. People wanted to see the dad more than they wanted to see the kids sometimes because that's the celebrity that he built. And I'm not mad at him though for doing that because his boys were the shit. They were the shit. So like, why not embrace that? Like as a parent.
Hey,
Like,
did you know about this fight that Glenn and Callie got into in 2016?
Yeah, I'm super aware. He like, yeah. He
Yeah.
went to jail. Like, yeah, no. I had seen him since then. That was the day me and Justice headed to a Falcons preseason game, ran into him on Northside Drive, and he came up and sat with us at the suite and everything. I mean, so like Glenn, like I have Glenn's number still. Like Glenn's a good dude. I think Glenn's a good guy.
He's a wild card though.
Glenn be wanting to be a nigga though, like which was
Yeah. I like it.
He wants to be a nigga like his dad didn't play in the NBA and like he didn't grow up in a $500,000 home. Like these were Glenn's issues. Like because all the potential was there. Glenn won the Summer League MVP. Like balled out. Like I mean,
he's still playing.
No, but I'm saying the year he got drafted, he was in the Summer League and won the MVP of the Summer League. Like he won the MVP of the Summer League. Like he was that good. Glenn could play.
Yeah, he was
Glenn always wanted to be a nigga. And that's unfortunate. Like, I don't know why he wanted to be a nigga, but that's probably why he didn't stay in the league long enough. And that's why he punched Jay Cali. Like it's just that nigga shit. He was on Love and if it wasn't Love and Hip Hop, then it was like Real Housewives or something. He was on one of those shows. Like Glenn wanted to be a nigga.
Yeah, but so the fix to college basketball is fixing the grassroots. Stop entitling these kids to so much so early. Make them earn a little bit more, so that they have some good skills moving forward. And I think that's why we're seeing the increased awareness and the increased attention to the women's game because there's not much money in women's basketball, so it's more of love of the game. And I mean, what's the return on investment for giving Paige a bunch of money when she's 15?
There isn't.
Because the amount of money that you're gonna give her to make it worth her while is gonna be like her max salary in the WNBA, and like that's no shots at the WNBA. It's just the economics of it, and I think that's why we see Paige coming back for another year because she's like, I can make more money staying in college and then be the first overall pick because of this Caitlin Clark hype that's taken everybody by storm. But enough of college basketball. You want to stick to NBA? Do you want to go to let's just stick to basketball while we're here. Oh shit, did you see that what's it called? The $500 that each girl is getting for playing in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think you sent that over.
I think
Hey,
that's
by the way, if you want to get in on some good money potentially, Kentucky down 5 with 8 minutes left, plus odds. Just throwing it out there. Unless you think they're going to get ousted, and if so, pretty good odds on Oakland then.
You know what? If Kentucky gets ousted, can we talk about maybe Calipari needing to move on?
No, because who do they get?
Who do they want?
Well, it's not like the Alabama thing. I'm not trying to be funny. Think about it. You would have thought Alabama would be the most desirable job, and people apparently turned down that job in college football. So
they're lying.
And Saban is Saban is the GOAT, right? Like Saban is the GOAT as of today. He is the GOAT of college. And Alabama's Alabama. Like Kentucky, to me, doesn't have the allure that Alabama does in football. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hey, did you hear what Birmingham? Did you hear what that Alabama's taking DEI out of their public colleges?
Why?
Because it's divisive, and they want to like take out anything that blames a certain race for stuff that's happened in history and all of that stuff. And the mayor of Birmingham came out and said that black athletes should withhold their talent from the state of Alabama. They shouldn't go to Auburn. They shouldn't go to University of Alabama because those are the money makers for the Alabama economy. If we're not going to teach history, better, because I'm not going to say we're going to teach it honestly, because
I'm not mad at that, but I think that like everybody's got to do what's best for them overall. Like, but I'm not mad at if there's a decision to do that. But here's the thing: goes back to something that we've talked about prior, maybe 3 years ago on this podcast, where I had been proposed the idea of, well, why didn't everybody just go to HBCU at that point? If everybody wants to, because you could turn the HBCU league into the premier league of college football if all the top black athletes go there.
I mean, yeah, because Nike will follow.
Literally all of them. This is what I'm saying. All
Nike will follow.
And it doesn't mean go to Morehouse, but go to Howard. Go to the D1 ones. Go to South Carolina State. Like FAMU. Go to the ones that are D1 then. You don't have to go to Morehouse necessarily, but like
Nike will follow, and so will the coaches and assistants.
Yeah, because that's who the league wants. The league wants the best players. They don't want the best players coming from the supposed best schools.
Hey, I got a question for you.
I have an answer.
So, did you hear Isaiah Thomas talk about Steph Marbury needing to be in the Hall of Fame?
Isaiah Thomas, like Detroit Pistons?
Yeah, Zeke. I don't care what IT says.
No, I didn't hear it.
So he said that he pretty much said because of what he did in the NBA and then what he went to China and did, he should be in the Hall of Fame. And
well,
I thought about it.
Basketball Hall of Fame is for, though, too. International play.
Right. And I thought about it, and I go, well, Tony Kukoc is in the Hall of Fame. This nigga averaged 11 points a game. Arvydas
Sabonis is, too.
And I was listening to Shannon and Gilbert talk about it, and Shannon was pretty much saying he's not a Hall of Fame player based on what he's done in the NBA. And I'm like, you're right.
He made All-Stars in the NBA.
Yeah, and he made 2 All-NBAs too.
Yeah, I was going to say he probably made like 2 or 3.
And I thought about this. Is there a racial component to making it the Basketball Hall of Fame and not the NBA Hall of Fame? Because it allows people like Bill Walton to get in? And Tony Kukoc? Tony Kukoc is not a Hall of Fame player.
Has there been black players that have been like that in their career? To where, like, Bill Walton was a legend in college. Name a black player that was does Kemba Walker get in? Like,
shit, no.
Whoa, so this is my point.
Bill Walton made All-NBA 50.
Like, people forget this. Bill Walton did win a championship being the best player on his team in the NBA.
Yeah, he won MVP too.
This is what I'm saying. So, like, it's just a little different. Like, yeah, he's white. I get it. And he was a key component on what some consider one of the best teams ever, the 86 Celtics. He was the 6th man. He won 6th man of the year. Like, he's accomplished a lot in that little bit of time, even being injured. Plus his college. I get where you're coming at from a talking point. But I can't name a nigga that's also had a career like him. So it's kind of like, it's not. But he's not. But I said Kemba Walker because I was like, well, who did something in college that was extraordinary and then still made some All-Star games in the NBA? Kemba Walker was like the first person I could think of.
Bill Walton is not. He was a college legend.
Yeah, he won multiple national championships.
He should have, like, you know how we have the College Football Hall of Fame now? You know, Reggie Bush should be in the College Football Hall of Fame, but he shouldn't be in the NFL Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
There we go, Bill Walton. Bill Walton should not be. He should not be in. I'm pretty sure Bill Walton's All-NBA 75, All-NBA 50.
Should we? He's not on the 75. He's probably on the 50, but he's not on
No. If you made he's on the 75. He's not on the 50. He made the 75. Come on, man.
Hold on.
He's on the 75. I'm looking at it right now. Basketball Reference. That's nuts.
That is nuts. Over
That's
Dwight
nuts.
Howard, that's crazy.
It's nuts, right?
I understood the 50 maybe, but even at the 50, I don't understand because that means he got in over Dominique Wilkins. Like, because Dominique Wilkins was like one of the people that people like.
I don't think he made the 50. I don't think he made the 50. I don't see him on the 50.
Exactly. This is my point. Dominique Wilkins probably should have been over Bill Walton on the 50. I know he's on the 75. Yeah, he shouldn't be on the 75.
No. He averaged 13.3 points per game in the NBA in his NBA career.
But look at it this way, too.
His MVP season, he averaged 18.
Check this out. Let's look at the 75 real quick. There were 11 active players on the 75. Giannis, Melo, Steph, AD, Durant, Harden, LeBron, Kawhi, Dame, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. All, for the most part, maybe except Dame, deserve
And AD.
it.
You can
I'm
argue
not
AD.
mad at AD.
I'm not mad at it either. I'm only mad that Dwight
AD
Howard
won
didn't
a
make it.
national championship and was the best player on his team in college for 1 year. Just like Melo. Now, Melo's got – and AD had a gold medal too. Like, there's a lot of stuff you could throw in for AD. And AD is his career, he's got to be a 23-12 guy. Like, and Dame Lillard's a high point scorer, but what all has Dame really done to
AD's career is 24 and a half and 12 rebounds.
I'm fine with that. Like, and he was a champion by that.
I'm sorry. Career is 24 and 10 and a half rebounds.
Does he have a DPOY?
No, he does. He doesn't have any offseason. He doesn't have any awards.
NBAs? 6. He's got at least.
Give me 1 second because it's easier to find on Wikipedia.
Here, all I gotta do is click his name.
I got it right here. All NBAs. He's made four first teams.
He's got 4. He's never been anything but first team when he's made it. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So he's a 9-time All-Star. I know All-Star MVP don't matter, but
it's something.
It is. It still adds to. It doesn't take away if you don't have it, but it adds to it if you do. So
yeah,
I'm fine.
3-time block leader, 2-time all defensive second, 2-time all defensive first.
I'm not mad at AD on the list.
I'm not either. I'm not. By no means am I mad at it. I watched Anthony Davis play, and Anthony Davis on his best day is better than Giannis. Giannis just puts together great days more than
AD. About Dame being on the list, if we're going to be mad about somebody, he has no all defensive anything.
Well, no, he doesn't play defense.
And he's only made the All NBA first team once. So when it comes to the 75 greatest players, I would be pissed a little.
Yeah. But look, let's stay relevant. Anthony Edwards had the dunk of the year, maybe.
Something Johnson did though.
Depends on who you ask.
Whose dunk was better? Jalen Johnson's. Because he dunked it. And he damn near jumped over Austin Reeves. He jumped over him for real.
Let's see.
Anthony Edwards, Blake Griffin / Dwight Howard, put it in. He didn't really dunk it. He did, but he didn't. His poster looks better. Anthony Edwards' poster looks way better. Like when you show the poster, if it's on a card,
yeah,
his way better. But who had the better dunk? Jalen Johnson, and granted, John Collins jumped and tried to stop it. Austin Reeves was trying to draw a charge, but his nuts were literally on his fucking forehead.
All right, so yeah, I'm about to show. Let me see.
Did not score and only had 1 shot attempt in that first half. Another turnover for Utah.
Hello. And here's the thing: John Collins went out of the game and didn't come back in.
Yes, and I know that adds to the story of it.
And he didn't play the next day. Hold on.
Now go to Jalen Johnson.
Hold on. I gotta get to Anthony Edwards. I gotta get his post game though.
He said Colin. He didn't say Collins.
No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Here we go. Let me turn the volume.
And Anthony, great. That was crazy. Minnesota wins by 10. Anthony, great game, my man. So Your three big guys. Gobert didn't play. Towns didn't play.
we
Nas
don't
plays
care about
half the
this.
game. How'd you guys win this ball game? Important game.
Man,
Hold on, wrong
all credit
video.
goes to Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, you're trying to get him when he said
everything we
nigga,
needed.
right?
Yeah. Let me see. Here we go.
Oh my God. Hey, that was my favorite of my career. I'm not gonna lie. You got some good ones. I couldn't even react because
His block was low-key more impressive than that.
I couldn't react.
Huh?
His block, like the week before, was way.
Oh, when he bumped his head on the rim?
Yeah, because that was legit, and it saved the game. Like the situation that was in, and the way that the block.
You ready for the Jalen Johnson?
Yeah, go to it.
And LeBron has his pocket picked right away. Man, who was that? Jalen Johnson. He goes.
Put his fucking nuts on his forehead. Like,
I gotta see it again. I gotta see it again.
Wait, yeah, they're gonna show the slow mo.
That's going to be on television tonight.
Let's see.
I mean, he just takes off and goes up.
Bro, he almost cleared him.
And one.
He almost cleared
He
him.
looks at him.
Austin Reeves is like 6'6".
You want to know what I like? Hold on.
He dunked on him. He dunked it.
Did you listen to the post game with Austin Reeves about it?
No.
It's pretty fun.
It would be negligent not to ask you, Austin, about.
See, this is why I don't like you.
I know. I'm a good reporter. What happened on that first play?
Everybody's seen what happened.
Nobody had your view.
You don't want my view. Was it not a charge?
My question would be is not only that play, but then they start 11-2. What turned for you guys?
We don't care about that.
He's right though. It's because but here's the best thing about being in the NBA. I have to imagine when that happens to you. I'm in the NBA. We are playing against the most elite athletes in the world, low key. Basketball players, I feel like, could do more than some people think. Football players, I think NBA players could play more sports than football players, in my opinion.
Depends on the position.
It's easier for a basketball player to turn pro in the NFL than it is for an NFL player to turn pro in the NBA. And we've seen it multiple times because Julius Peppers, Antonio Gates, like we've seen multiple basketball players go to the NFL and dominate.
But Julius Peppers was a football player too.
There's not going to be, but I'm saying he played basketball at UNC. Like I'm saying, like it's very rarely are you going to see an NFL player try and play basketball. Now, Deion Sanders also, and Bo Jackson, of course, elite athletes that play baseball. But I think it's easier for an NBA player to play in the NFL than it is for an NFL player to play in the NBA.
I think it's a mindset, and I don't think a lot of NBA players.
You would agree because you're a big LeBron dude. LeBron could be one of the best tight ends of all time, correct? Like, would you agree? Yeah. Like that he could easily have done it?
Yeah.
So,
but like,
could Patrick Mahomes be one of the best shooting guards ever? No.
You see that gut?
Okay, but it don't even have to be him. Like, I'll name somebody else. I don't know.
CJ Stroud was a nice basketball player.
Could he be in the NBA? I don't think so. Like Drake London. Drake London was nice in basketball. He played at USC basketball too. Could Drake London be in the league? Probably not, bro. And he has bounced. Like they showed him dunking and doing him and Jaime Jaquez and them doing dunk contests. Like I don't think that's going to be the case.
You want to watch the most skilled scorer hit one of the craziest game winners? Maybe his best game winner.
Yeah, Glow.
0.8 to go. Luka Doncic with.
Here's the wild thing about this Kyrie game winner, right? Obviously, the shot is the marquee one because of it was Game 7 in the finals. But I think this one right here was higher degree of difficulty just from a skill perspective, taking away the pressure piece.
Bro, Kentucky really about to lose.
I don't gamble.
It's not about gambling. I mean, even my
Your bracket.
yeah, like
Hey, I think I'm gonna start doing more screen sharing with some of the stuff that we put out here.
I'm all for it.
You think Kyrie's the most skilled player in the NBA in NBA history?
No,
Who you got, Kobe?
I think AI.
Skilled?
They're like the same player, and Kyrie's like bigger, but who's a better scorer? Like AI is a better scorer than Kyrie. Even Kyrie on the bad teams wasn't AI.
I think Kyrie's more efficient. No,
Sure, but I think that the NBA allows for players to be more efficient. Like,
yes, but I think Kyrie's game is efficient no matter where you put it because of his handle, because of where he can shoot from. Like, I can't shoot the three like Kyrie.
Kentucky's about to lose.
And Reed Shepard's supposed to go first overall. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's out here fouling niggas shooting threes.
And he's getting torched by another American guy. Boy got 31. 31. Can you do something for me? Make it 32.
They better put it together, man. I need them to win because I put 1,000 on them just like 5 minutes ago. So,
do you have any thoughts on Kobe's parents selling his ring?
For what it's worth, it was gifted to them. They have every right to do it if they want to. I mean, worst case scenario, I don't know if they're hurting for money. I don't know what the reason is, but like,
they're cut off from his fortune.
Yeah, but that was already like a known thing. I think to a degree, in a sense that they weren't on the best of terms for whatever reason. I hate that they weren't. It's such a bad way. Like when you die, like, but whatever the reason is, you know, Kentucky. See, this is why teams like Kentucky lose. Good thing they call it a foul. Boy, Kentucky, man, look. This is bullshit what they're pulling right now.
I mean, it's Coach Cal, man. What do we expect?
Well, it's this one-on-one shit. And like that is why they're losing. They're losing because of this one-on-one shit.
But I mean, that's been Kentucky's problem all of these years. Like they don't really build great teams. They just have a compilation of good players.
When they had the Twins, they went to the Final Four, I remember. And those guys weren't in the league.
Long.
They were the best players. You remember the Twins?
Yeah, the Harrison Twins. They played with Julius Randle. They may have had a little cup of coffee with Cat.
Yeah. Because, they were there for 2 years. They stayed. They didn't just go to straight.
Well, no, they had to stay. They had to get an education.
They're probably overseas somewhere.
Let's see. Where are the Harrison Twins at?
They're overseas. I need Kentucky to pull this thing out.
Let's see.
They're not going to. They're fucked.
Andrew Harrison in 2024 is playing in Turkey. And dang, he was a top 5 player in the class in 2013 with Wiggins, Jabari, and Julius Randle. And his brother, Aaron Harrison, plays for FC Porto in Portugal.
So he's still making out pretty well.
I mean, yeah, he's still making money playing basketball, and I think that's what matters. He was a Turkish League All-Star in 2020. He won the Portuguese Cup this year.
But
He's
see,
a champion.
That's why I love, like, my boy Latan, why I love him so much. Because the thing is that, like, he's never was a highly recruited player or anything like that. But, like.
What's his last name?
Latana's last name?
Yeah.
Wowo. NWOGBO. He was never a highly recruited player. He was the best player on our team. Latana was good. I mean, I grew up with Latana. Like, we played middle school the whole 9. So, like, I know how good of a player he was. Hell, like I said, And I know it sounds funny to say, oh my goodness, bro, Kentucky is smoking this thing.
Hey man, that may be the problem. You can't stay off the weed.
But they were down too, and they just turned the ball over.
And they fouled.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's a bad free throw shooter. He made that one.
Yeah.
Hey, so what are your thoughts on the whole like holding arms on the bench thing?
Wow, Kentucky just made a 3, 1-point game. But I know that them niggas have got to be sitting there saying to themselves, we can't lose. Like, we cannot, not to them. We can't go out not like this. Like,
Do you want to know who played at Oakland?
Oakland, you know where Oakland is located?
Detroit.
Yeah, it's in Michigan, nigga. Like, that's
Do you know who played there? John Tassin.
That's where he came from before he went to Morehouse?
Yeah.
I knew he was from Flint. I knew that. But you know, let me tell you, that little bit of time, seriously, when I was on the team and with them, for one, John Tassin was like 27 years old, nigga, playing with everybody. Let's start there. Like, he was old as fuck. You would have thought that he was a redshirt senior by the time he got to Morehouse, and he had 3 years of eligibility. Like,
nah, his first year at Morehouse was my freshman year. Oh, that's game over.
Old, but this is what I'm saying. He's old. What do you mean that's game?
Nigga from Oakland just hit a 3.
Oh, yep.
I remember somebody in John Tassin circles was saying they were going to have a draft party for Tassin. I was like, don't worry about inviting me to that one because it's not going to happen.
Hold on. This is ridiculous, man. I can't.
Oh, okay.
I can't even fucking hedge. Like,
I take it back. He didn't play at Oakland. He played at Seward Community College. I thought he played at Oakland for some reason.
No Oakland, huh?
Oh, apparently not. I'm just, I'm on his Morehouse looking at his bio,
Oh, John Tassin?
Yeah.
He wasn't very good anyways. Like, no hate, but like, he wasn't really that good.
You don't think so?
The best player on the team was
Jay Will.
Andre. Andre was the best player on the team.
Andre's a lawyer now. He signed to Oakland.
Best player on the team. Dre, you want to know, and it's not because he just got invited to like play in the summer league. Like, Dre actually could play. What it was they were playing that nigga at the fucking 5. Like, he was getting played at the 5. Because he's like 6'5", 6'4".
Nah, he was 6'7".
I don't know if he was. I don't think he was 6'7". But
He was listed 6'7", but he's like 6'6" for real.
He's like 6'5". I think he was like 6. But point being,
hold on. John Tassin committed.
John Tassin might have been 6'7".
John Tassin committed in 2006 to Oakland, and he was at Morehouse in 2010. Yeah, he classed of 07. Damn, I didn't know he was that old.
Shepard just sold the game.
Well, shit. Good.
All right, so Kentucky's gonna lose.
But yeah, Dre worked hard. He would be in the gym putting up shots, in the weight room lifting, and he was a really diligent student, and he played overseas for a little while.
Person. Yeah, he was actually a good person too. Like,
yeah, like he was in my department, so I had class with him, and I'm like, oh, you're not just a basketball player. You're here for an education.
John Tassin.
I just got a text. Cal gets fired this year. Bring back, you know what? Bring back Ricky P.
Mm, 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 mm. I don't know. This could be. Cal's not going to get fired because there's not another direction that they can really go in. So,
Well, no, because Will Wade's already gotten hired.
yeah, there's not really another direction that he can go in. Like,
Let me see. Who are the top free agent college coaches? Let me get John Tassin out of my Google search.
yeah, Kentucky's going to lose. This is fucking Kurt. Well, and this is like the second time in like 4 years that they went out in the first round. They lost I think St. Peter's is who beat them that year. Like 2 years ago, I think St. Peter's beat Kentucky. That's who lost.
Well, I'm trying to think. Does Kentucky have a big enough bag to get Brad Stevens?
Ooh, to come out to leave his cushy job as a GM president? I doubt it.
Him tap into that coaching gene that he's missing.
He has to miss coaching enough. And more importantly, he would need to want to go back to college because he could coach in the NBA still. Billy Donovan would be the person I would target because the Bulls have got to be getting ready to fire him. So he would be the guy I look for because, not to be funny, Billy got 2 natties. So Billy got more natties than Cal. And the NBA hasn't really worked out for him. OKC, Chicago, like neither have really worked out. He would be the prime.
I mean, to his credit, he had KD leave on him.
So
then
what? He had him for a year, and they could have won.
Yeah, they blew it down up 3-1.
Look, and KD should have stayed, but like they could have won. It ain't like they couldn't have won. They should have won that series. But and do we blame him for like why they didn't win?
Nah, not really.
Who do you blame for them not winning that series? If
Players.
I remember correctly,
I blame players.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was just a Game 6. You knew that once Game 6 was the must win. Like you should close.
Yeah.
And when you don't close out in those like
when you're up 3-1, because it's not like you were up 3-0, right? When you're up 3-1, you expect to lose Game 5. Huh?
You have to turn it to LeBron James Game 6 against the Celtics. No smiling, no dapping, no bullshit. You go out there, man, and you put like you want to know one of the things that I love about LeBron, actually. That game, I remember, I'm sure you remember watching it too. I'm like, people look at it as a meme. I remember watching the fucking game. And one of the things that like I remember about LeBron, aside from the idea that he didn't smile once, was that nigga did every play the right way. Like he didn't take no bullshit 3-point jumper from somewhere because he wanted a heat check. No, it was to the hole, or if they give me enough space, I'm going to take this midi. And that's how he scored all of his points that game.
Nah, I remember where I was that game.
Or D Wade's wide open over there. Let me give it to him. Or Mike Miller's right there. Shane Battier's right there. There was no bullshit in that game. That game, bro, he knew that his legacy was on the line. And he played like it. And that's why they won the game. And then they went back and won in Miami. Like, he played like his legacy was on the line. I never will understand why players don't do that when you're in these win-or-go-home situations. Like, nobody does that anymore. Nobody plays with the sense of urgency of this might really be it for me.
Yeah, I just think they get paid too much money, so they're gonna go home to their millions. And it's hard to tell somebody going home to millions that they lost. You heard what Mel.
Oakland can miss these free throws, maybe?
No.
All right, you're probably ahead of me. They already made one?
No. I mean, you heard what Melo said in that Redeem Team doc. He wasn't going to the gym that early with Kobe.
Yeah, because he's lazy. And showed. He must have missed the first one.
He did. He was out doing those things that probably started I'm not going to speak on him in
He misses the second one. You think Kentucky can make a 3 to send this thing to fucking OT?
I mean, they got Rob Dillingham, baby.
They got your boy Shep.
Come on, man. Don't even get me started. Does DeJuan Wagner? I'm gonna say, does DJ Wagner even play?
He's so garbage, bro. Like for the guy, for him to have been basically like the number one player. I don't even follow college basketball like that, but I've bet on and seen enough Kentucky games to give you a synopsis of like who he is. People talk about how Bronny's this, that, and the third, bro. We need to start talking about them niggas. These niggas that came out.
Bronny wasn't a 5-star.
I know that. DJ Wagner was like the number one player at one point.
Yeah. And if you watch Bronny's game, I'm not saying Bronny can't be a great scorer, but when I've watched Bronny, I've never seen him like
Oakland made the 3.
Huh?
Oakland made they made the free throw.
Oh, you're looking at the app. You can't just wait for it to happen on TV.
No, because I care about the money. Now, it's also 2 seconds, so I don't know if Kentucky somehow either gets the ball down court, gets fouled, and then scores, or they're going to shoot a free throw. No, they call a timeout.
They just call a timeout.
Well, it says 2 seconds on my screen.
I got 3.9 on mine.
No, on my TV it's 3.9, but on here it says 2. So it makes
Golly, bro, the Nats are back out here in Albany, and like the second I open my door, they come a-flying.
Yeah, they're eating your ass, huh?
No.
They're diddying you.
No. No Diddy over here. My ass only gets eaten. Let me shut up. My ass never gets eaten.
Well, you said it only gets eaten.
It never, yeah. It only never.
Okay. We'll keep that in mind.
I don't want you to keep nothing about my ass in your mind.
Kentucky. I mean, what a disappointment.
I wish I had a college basketball fan in my life that we could call right now and get their feelings.
No one watches college basketball, but that's why we brought the topic up. Like nobody.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a shit product. Why would you watch it?
Nobody watches this bullshit. That's why nobody can get the brackets right. Like, now, granted, nobody saw this coming.
It's like nobody saw South Carolina getting beat by Oregon.
So Kentucky goes home. Cal's got to be feeling the hot seat. But like I said, who do you get to replace him?
I think you were on it with Billy D.
But he would be the only person that you could, because the Bulls, there's no way they're going to keep him.
Nah, they're about to do a rebuild, and I don't think Billy D.
Where's Fred Hoiberg? You remember Fred Hoiberg? He coached at Chicago. He's Nebraska's coach, and Nebraska was actually good this year. So, you remember Fred Hoiberg?
Yeah. He coached the Bulls, and he's a Brad Stevens lookalike. Hey guys, that's the first hour. We're gonna shut the first hour off here. All right, man. Let's get into hour 2. We've talked college hoops. We've talked NBA hoops. Let's talk the sport that we actually care about, and that's football.
Yes.
Where do you want to start with football, man? There's so much happened since our last show. I mean, there's rumors that Russ could be cut if Justin Fields looks better than him, but there's also rumors that they're talking about an extension. Brandon Ayuk is saying, hey, Coach T, we look like twins. What's happening? Mike Williams is a Jet player. The Vikings added another draft pick to try to move up. It seems like the Giants want a quarterback. Caleb Williams had a pro day. Marvin Harrison attended a pro day, but didn't work out. Like, where do you want to go?
Well,
or you know what? Actually, I know where we're going to go, Parlay Pete.
Guys, here's what we're doing. We're going to run the piss out of this football. Hey, I got you. We're getting ready to run the piss out of football. Trying to get something going. I got you.
We are all here to do what Falcons do. Okay.
I'll say, not all signings are created equal, right? So $100 million guaranteed for Kirk Cousins. It sounds like a lot, but the reality is for that team, I think it made all the sense in the world. I think they're much closer than people are saying. I think they were badly coached and they were terribly quarterbacked last year. And if they have better coaching with average to slightly above average quarterback play, I think they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender in the NFC. That's right, I said it.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
What I'll say.
I think we've been saying this as people who watch the Falcons in person, watch them on television. You watch them more in person than I do because you go to away games. And I think in the national media, this could be seen as a hot take because people in the national media only watch the Cowboys, the Giants, Patrick Mahomes, a little bit of Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Tua, Sean McVay.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh, they only watch the coach.
Yeah, you don't watch McVay. They like his beard. But I don't think I think Greeny, and this could be my Falcons bias, but I think Greeny is right. And I think that's why it made sense for us to pay that much money for Kirk Cousins and not try to move up and get a rookie.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it made the most sense. We went out and got the best quarterback. Isn't that what matters? Going out and getting the best possible player to fill your biggest void. That is how I looked at it. I looked at it from the perspective of that. We filled our biggest void and got the best possible player to fill said void.
Yeah, and I think
they broke it down statistically. His 6 years in Minnesota, since those 6 years in Minnesota, since he got there until the last down he played, he ranked in the top 5 of every statistical category for a quarterback, and not attempts and completions either. I'm talking completion percentage, yards, touchdown to interception ratio, passer rating, QBR. He ranked in the top 5, not the top 10, the top 5 of all those since he got there. And so that is why I think I look at it from the perspective of, well, we've got a guy that is the best available and somebody that realistically can propel your team. Yeah, I think that on paper, he historically has not done anything that would make anyone say, well, why, right? Like Cam Newton came out and basically kind of dispelled that whole thing and said what he said about Kirk Cousins, like he's gotten this much in guarantees, but one playoff win or something. And I mean, I guess it comes down to who do you blame for the mishaps of Kirk Cousins when it does come to his playoff time. Naturally, not somebody that's played very well in primetime either.
No.
Right?
Falcons don't play in primetime, though.
Well, we will this year. Everybody's going to want to see what we have this year.
We play Sunday at 1:00 Eastern.
I promise you, I bet we have 4 nationally televised games this year.
Maybe 3.
One Thursday, one Monday, one Sunday, and then there's a chance of course, later on in the year you get flex or something. I bet we get at least 4 times on national TV. Like the Minnesota game will be on a Monday night. That's going to be a Monday night game. Could be the opener. Could be the Monday night opener. That would make sense. Kirk Cousins.
I would like to open up at home again, but we've done it the last 2 years, so I doubt we do it again this year.
You'll get one division game. The Saints game, whether that's at New Orleans or here, will be a Thursday because we haven't had a Thursday night game with them in a minute. We played Carolina and Tampa on but we haven't played. No, but the Tampa game is going to be pretty intriguing too, because that could really determine the division. Like that should be a good game. Us and Tampa, that should be good.
I mean, we might get Brady on the call for a game or two this year.
Yeah, but that's not prime time. Like it is.
I know it's not prime time, but it's.
We'll get like when we play the Chiefs. Like if CBS doesn't grab that game, if that's a Fox game, because the game is here, if that's a Fox game, that I could see that being a 4 o'clock Brady call.
Yeah, I'm happy.
It would have been a lock if we had Belichick.
I'm happy we've gotten.
Hey, keep talking real quick. I just need keep talking.
I'm happy we got Greg Olsen off the 4 o'clock Fox game of the week, man. I'll tell you what, Olsen and Burkhardt, they do their best. They're not bad, but they're not good. And when you're replacing Troy and Joe, I mean, those are big shoes to fill. And unfortunately, those guys didn't fill them. You know, it's not like when Mike told Kobe, "You can wear the shoes, but you'll never fill them." No, Kobe. If MJ wore a 13, Kobe wore a 12 and a half. With his insoles in, he hit a 13. You know what I'm saying? But no. If Joe and Troy were 13, Burkhardt and Greg Olsen were size 10. But I think the Falcons are in the best position that we've been in a very long time. And I'm not just saying this as a Falcons fan, because I am a Falcons fan, obviously. You just look at the roster, you look at the weapons. You know, you got the addition of Darnell Mooney. You have Drake London, who's a big, nice receiver on the outside. We still need to go get a pass rusher. I would like us to grab a cornerback in the second round. And hopefully what we do is we in the draft, hopefully we trade back, because we don't need a quarterback. And if a quarterback falls, or if a Marvin Harrison Jr. falls, or a team wants to just move up to make sure they get their guy, I hope we're there to provide that for them. You know, I want to be here to help you get what you want, because we have a good roster. We had a top 10 defense last year. Now we add a top 5 quarterback. Yeah, granted, off of a major injury, with a good rookie running back, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and a new offensive coordinator. And this is the McVay offense. Remember, Kyle Shanahan wanted Kirk Cousins to be his quarterback. That should say something, right? And if you get a Shanahan, not a Shanahan disciple, if you get a McVay disciple in there, we got a chance. Because if you look at the McVay disciples, they work. McVay already has a better coaching tree than Bill Belichick. And Bill, Bill's one of the greatest. But his coaching tree hasn't been great. And McVay is a really good head coach. He's been successful. But you know what, man? His assistants have been great. And I think that speaks to the program he runs, the way that he teaches his coaches, the way he coaches his coaches. Because so often we focus on the coach coaching the players. But another part of being a great coach is coaching your coaches. Because that's where it's at, right? You hear talks of Nick Saban and it being tough being on Nick Saban's staff. Why? Because he coaches his coaches. He coaches his coaches hard. But if you look at the way his coaches are doing, Sark ended up in the Final Four this past year. Lane Kiffin is doing great things down in Ole Miss. Guys, that program running. Kirby Smart, 2 natties in a row. One of the best teams in the country, just missed the playoffs. Why? Because the coach coaches the coaches. Not only does the coach coach the players, but the coach coaches the coaches. And the coach allows the coaches to coach their players, see? And that's what that may be one of McVay's best qualities, that he coaches his coaches very well. And with Raheem Morris having a second shot, I think it's a beautiful thing. But while we wait for Parlay Pete, man, I want to pivot to the pro days. Obviously, Caleb Williams went out and threw out his pro day. Keenan Allen was there. And, that was a beautiful thing to see. We know where the Bears are going. They're drafting Caleb Williams at 1. If you were another team, you were at that pro day to watch the other players. You weren't there to watch Caleb Williams because, you know what? Maybe you were. Maybe to get some intel or when you're playing against it. But he's not going to be your guy. And I barely care about pro days, honestly. Sam Darnold looked great at his pro day. Josh Rosen looked great at his pro day. Okay. You can throw the hell out of a football when there's nobody there, when there's no defense, when you're with your receivers, when you've practiced the script time and time again. That does very little for me. But what is it that I'm looking for? But with Caleb Williams, right? There's been some interesting stuff coming out of the Chicago Bears locker room. Cornerback Jalen Johnson says, you can't bring that Hollywood stuff into the building. We're going to see through it. You got to prove yourself. That speaks to how these guys felt about Justin Fields. Then you have Cole Clement coming out and saying he didn't go out on it. He was too upset that Justin Fields was traded to go out on a Saturday night. Let's play this one.
All from Flus and the people with the Bears, and decided to stay in after the news with Justin. Obviously really upsetting that it kind of came to that, and where it was at that moment. But you kind of felt like the writing was on the wall with that. Really, when I was keeping up with the combine, so you kind of what you heard with what Ryan and Coach said, and you kind of felt like that's kind of where things were going to be headed, and you just kind of hoped that Justin could find a situation that he was comfortable with, and I know that they were trying to do right by him, and it seems like they were able to do that for the most part. So I call from Flus and the people.
So these guys really love Justin Fields, and they're not going to make it easy for Caleb Williams. Now, I do think that Caleb Williams is getting a tough rap because, they think of him as a Hollywood guy. He's just premier player, but it also makes sense. I understand why these guys feel this way, because this is what they've seen. They've seen the nail paint. They know about the NIL deals. They know about the nice house in LA. They know about him being pampered. And what we talked about in hour one with the AAU and the NBA prospects is guys been pampered. These are NFL players. And when you take away a guy from our team that we really like for a guy who may be more talented, may have more upside, it's like, hey, man, you got to prove yourself to us. Just because you're the number one overall pick, just because the coach likes you, just because the front office likes you, just because ownership likes you, doesn't mean that you show up here day one and we like you. No, you got to earn our respect. And based on the way Caleb Williams has played, we haven't heard anything negative from teammates about him or anything. Now that we've heard anything positive, I don't think he's going to show up with you know what? I'm being PC. Caleb Williams is going to have to go in there, bust his ass, and prove himself. Because there's been a lot of entitlement coming out of the Caleb Williams camp, wanting ownership of the team. There was rumblings that he didn't want to go to the Bears. In the interview I listened to earlier today, he talked about wanting to go to a place that cares. You're worried about the fans caring. Look, man, you need to worry about going to the place that's going to best maximize you and win games. Okay? I like the fact that Caleb Williams came out and said he doesn't like to run. He preferred to pass. Good. And maybe you were playing so off script because of the terrible O-line that you had and the terrible defense you had, and you felt that pressure. But at the end of the day, Caleb Williams is going to have to go in there, prove himself, put his head down, and be a team-first guy. You're going to have to take those linemen out to dinner. You might have to buy them guys, nice little present, give them some nice speakers.
Rolex.
Give them a Rollie. It doesn't have to be
with a bag of ranch.
Huh?
I said with a bag of ranch.
Yeah, you got to do something for them because the team is not necessarily happy about you showing up. DJ Moore tweeted, "Business is business." I talked about the cornerbacks comments. I talked about Cole Clement being like, yeah, he didn't want to go out on Saturday night. The writing was on the wall, and these guys are hurt that they're losing Justin Fields, and you're the guy to replace him. So hopefully your team and hopefully your personality, who you are as a human being, your character shows them that, hey, man, I have no control over coming here. It wasn't my intent to boot your guy out of here, but I'm here to bust my ass and show you guys that, hey,
that they're making the right decision.
I'm the man for the job. Yeah, you got Keenan Allen's respect because Keenan Allen's the LA guy. Y'all probably worked out together. He knows you. Little Jordan Palmer here or there, all of this cool stuff. But Keenan Allen, he's nobody in that locker room right now. He hasn't put on a Bears jersey yet. And who the hell's going to wear number 13?
He's new too.
Who's gonna wear 13? Caleb or Keenan?
Caleb.
Yeah, man. So you got anything to add on the Caleb Williams thing?
Well, we're gonna see what he does. Like I don't want to judge a book by its cover, and I don't want to be too politically correct about it. But it's just what all do we truly know about Caleb Williams outside of what other people have said about him, and not what we've seen about him. He's a guy that has won. It seems like, well, maybe not won, but like many others that have left high school, he was a winner probably leaving high school, top recruit. He followed his coach from Oklahoma. He won the job. He took the job from Spencer Rattler out there. Like, he won a Heisman. Like, I mean, individually, clearly he's a great player. So we'll get to see what he ends up doing. He certainly has every opportunity to be great in his rookie year, because I can't name a rookie quarterback that's had a better supporting cast offensively than he has headed into their rookie year. Name a better one, seriously.
Say again?
Like offensive weapon-wise, name a better – who's had better weapons than him?
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I mean, you got 2 number 1 receivers and like a top 5-7 tight end?
I wouldn't say 5, but 10 for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, what's your 5 at tight end?
Top 10 tight end, at least statistically last year, top 10 running back. And duo-wise, receiver from your 1 and 2, certainly top 10. So you're top 10 at every position. Skill position, you're top 10.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking at so in fantasy,
Komet's top 10.
In fantasy, Komet is 7.
Okay.
He had 73 receptions, 719 yards, 6 tubs.
That's arguably top 5.
And behind him, but ahead of him is Laporte.
I just think I can name 5 tight ends that
No, you can. Laporta, Kittle, Kelsey, Hawkinson, Njoku, Evan Ingram.
Oh, and I would take Kyle Pitts going into this year over him, because Kyle Pitts is better than him in reality.
Kyle Pitts had 90 targets last year.
Kyle Pitts, yeah, and how many were over his head? Like, I mean, like, how many were him maybe running an out, and that shit was on the sideline, like it was in Arthur Smith's hands. Like what was he supposed to do about that? Like,
Desmond Ridder was terrible.
Yeah, we're talking top 5 bad.
Hey, so let's pivot to Russ.
He's Desmond Shitter.
Let's talk a little bit of Russell Wilson. So first, it comes out that I think it was Albert Brew who reported that Pittsburgh's talking about locking Russell in for a few more years.
Okay.
Then an anonymous NFL executive, which tells us absolutely nothing, says that the Steelers could cut Russ if Justin Fields looks better than him.
The Steelers could cut Russ if Justin Fields looked better than him. Okay.
I don't know how Justin Fields
opens up for that, certainly.
I don't know how Fields gets the opportunity to look better than Russ, because I don't think he'll get enough snaps in training camp to prove it.
They won't. Well, for more importantly, they wouldn't want to have to give up a 4 he has to play like 50% of the snaps for it to go to a 4. They're going to
51%.
They're going to make sure that Russ has every opportunity to fail.
Yeah. Hey, there's talks
because of the pick, because a 6 to a 4 is actually because a 4 is a guy that might be able to start on your team that year,
especially in Pittsburgh.
Surprise.
Especially in Pittsburgh, they draft well.
Right.
Do you think that Kenny Pickett handled everything properly in Pittsburgh like he said he did?
No.
I think Kenny Pickett has some fucking audacity to think that he's somebody that like.
I think Kenny Pickett knows his role and has to shut his mouth, as The Rock would say, because
I don't think he knows his role.
Well, that's why The Rock would say, know your role and shut your mouth. He doesn't know his role, but now he's going to know his role because he's a backup quarterback and he's went to a situation where he has to hope somebody gets hurt because that's not a situation where somebody's getting benched. He was actually in a situation where if Russ played bad, they would have maybe turned to him. He's not getting turned to in Philadelphia, even if it goes wrong with Hurts. Like he's not going to get like, I don't see it happening in Jacksonville either. But I'm just saying, like, when you think of like quarterbacks that are secure into where they won't get benched, he's one of those people. Like Jalen Hurts just signed his deal and he makes $50 million a year. He's not getting benched.
What does that mean? Carson Wentz signed his deal and he got pushed out the door.
Well, he was also often injured and he was more than 1 year into his deal. I think this is the first year of Jalen Hurts' deal kicking in. So, not happening. Russ even didn't get benched till his second year in Denver.
In like week 16, it was the season.
Yeah, the season was pretty. The writing was on the wall for them, anyways. Like, so I'm just saying, like, he's not in a better position from a playing perspective.
Hey, do you want to play a game of Russ or?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, we're talking about 1 year, next year, contract and all, right?
Okay.
Who would you rather have? And I'm not gonna give you like
contract.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say Lamar Jackson. I'm not gonna say Josh Allen. I'm not gonna say Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's a stupid question. Russ or Jared Goff?
Russ, contract wise. But
Russ or Matthew Stafford?
I would stay with continuity wise. I would stay with Goff because of what they accomplished.
Okay. Russ or Matthew Stafford?
Russ, because Matt Stafford makes almost 50, right?
Close to it.
Yeah, Russ.
Russ or Dak Prescott?
Russ.
Yeah, Dak wants 55.
Yeah, Russ. At 1 million, Russ.
Russ or Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy.
Russ or CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud.
Russ or Tua Tagovailoa with that
Russ.
with that extension hanging. Okay.
Russ.
Russ or Kirk Cousins?
Ooh, see, I knew you were going to bring that up. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. Contract-wise, I guess it would have depended on what the Falcons could have done with the rest of the money. Probably Russ, like overall. If we're talking at $1 million, like 1.1, like how could I not? Like, how could I not? Like, statistically, he didn't separate himself enough for me to think that Kirk Cousins is coming off an injury. They're about the same age, but like Kirk Cousins is coming off an injury. So Russ, I take Russ contract-wise, Russ.
Russ or Baker Mayfield?
I think Russ is still better than Baker Mayfield. Russ.
Russ or Jordan Love?
Jordan Love.
Russ or Jalen Hurts?
I'm going to take Jalen Hurts just because of how effective he is in the run game.
Russ or Trevor Lawrence?
Ooh. Probably Russ.
That's not what you said in the group.
Well, I've had time to think about money-wise. Now, I guess T-Law is still on his rookie deal, but he's probably he's not in the fifth-year option yet, right?
Nah, he's going into year 4.
Give me T-Law. I'll take T-Law.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is that good at quarterback. I think he's wildly overrated.
I have to ask myself, how much better do I think Russell Wilson is? It's the money for Russ that's giving him all these.
Trevor Lawrence had 14 interceptions and 12 fumbles last year.
turn the ball over a lot, but who's better?
All right, the next two, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, I'm not going to ask you. Russ or AR-15?
For 1 year?
Yeah.
Russ.
I like this one. Russ or Gino?
Russ.
Last one. Russ or Justin Fields?
Russ.
Oh, no, I got to do this one too.
Fields is going to make more money than Russell Wilson this year.
Russ? No, he's not.
His rookie deal doesn't pay more than 1.1?
Russ still gets his money from Denver.
No, but we're talking about his contract with the Steelers.
Okay, yeah. Russ or Derek Carr?
Russ.
Russ or Kyler Murray?
Let me tell you, the Saints wish that they could have Russell Wilson today.
Russ or Deshaun Watson?
Russ. I mean, Deshaun's contract is so big. So, like, if Russ was getting 20 and Deshaun was still getting his 45, 50, I would maybe – I'm not somebody that's giving up on Deshaun Watson.
Me neither.
I don't think that Deshaun Watson's done.
Me neither.
But considering his is fully guaranteed and Russ is a 1.1 for this year, give me Russ at that number.
Okay.
Russ is too good of a value.
That was a nice game. 26 touchdowns, 8 picks last year. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't great, but
that's not bad at all.
No, I just think he's getting
good.
I just think he's getting a lot of bad press.
I don't even think it's fair to say not terrible, not great. That was good. He was good. Statistically, he was good.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Josh Hosey, he was good, but if you watch the games, it's like, man, I see why a team would want to move off of him at that price, but I also think that Sean Payton did not want Russ to succeed.
Yeah, he wanted a reason to not have to pay him.
Let's see. What else we got? Do we care about the Vikings getting 20? Was it 25 they picked up?
Getting what picked up?
Do we care about the Vikings picking up another first round pick?
No.
Do we care about JJ McCarthy's draft stock rising?
No.
Do we care about the 2021 draft class being a class full of busts?
No, but yes, in a sense of it just goes to show how quickly you can find out how good a quarterback is in the NFL now.
Do you think teams are moving too fast to make their decisions on quarterbacks?
No, because most of them are proven to not be it. Baker is one of the exceptions in a sense of, but I don't think any of us thought Baker blowed. Like, I didn't think Baker blew.
No.
I didn't think he blew. I just think that the Texans, not the Texans, the Browns thought that their roster was so good which is why they did what they did this year, basically with Deshaun Watson not playing more than half the season, that their roster was so good that they had to upgrade because they felt like they were a Super Bowl contending team and Baker wasn't a Super Bowl contending quarterback to them. So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
So for somebody like Baker, that was more of it's not you, it's us in a weird way. It's more us than it is you.
Yeah.
I know that's a cliche, but it's us, it's not you type.
Nah, I totally agree with you. I think that's valid.
Baker wasn't great with Carolina. He looked good in that short span with the Rams.
I mean, I wanted Baker to be in our quarterback room last year.
Yeah, he would have been so much better than having Heineke or I mean, he would have looked better if we had him the year before too over Mariota.
Hey, the Cardinals said they're open for business at pick number 4.
How much business?
If the deal is right.
Yeah, that's them telling Minnesota or the Giants to come up or the Denver. They're talking to 3 teams.
Hey, so I didn't talk about Marvin Harrison not working out at his pro day because I wanted to wait for you to get back. Some people fear that this is going to be a trend moving forward. And I don't. I think that he is a guy who knows that he's going to be a top 5 pick. He's not training for the combine. He didn't train for a pro day. He's doing football training. So he doesn't have to retrain his body after increasing his draft stock. And I think if you're an elite player, you have a little bit of leverage. Why waste your time prepping for some drills that don't really show off your football talent? Because if we would have known that Puka Nacua was going to be who he would have been drafted in the top 5 last year.
Right.
So it's like, hey, the film tells you the football player that I am. I'm going to continue working on being a better football player and not being a better show pony for you. Now, if you got a 4th round grade, you better get your ass out there to the combine. You better do a pro day. But if you got a top 4 grade, fuck am I doing this for?
Yeah, he didn't have anything to prove to anyone, and I'm not mad at him for doing it. Somebody said it best. They said, look at the film. Look at the film.
I mean, the film typically tells the story, especially at receiver. You know, if you're looking at route running, you're looking at hands, catches in traffic, you know, you're not looking at stats like Josh Holsey. You're actually looking at how the production is happening. And, you know, I listened to Todd McShay earlier this week, and he was talking about, because he has Rome Odunze as his number 1 receiver. And he said, no, Malik Neighbors. I take that back. Let me see. I'm pretty sure it's Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, it's probably Neighbors.
But what McShay said is, I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a good player, like a great player. But I don't think that he has the ceiling of a Malik of a Neighbors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why he has Neighbors higher. And I go, that's sound logic. You know, if you're comparing Marvin Harrison, you're saying he's AJ Green. There was never a day that we woke up and thought AJ Green was the best wide receiver in the league.
No.
He was consistent. He was really good. But we never said, hey, he's the best receiver in the league.
But even more of a comparison, even there, and I know that is like the big comparison. Did anyone look at that and also be like, Julio was going to be the best guy in the league? I didn't. I didn't think Julio was going to eventually be the best receiver in the NFL. And
I didn't either.
Not because he didn't have the potential. It was just more of I thought AJ Green was better coming out of college, but that was just my opinion. I don't think it was a Georgia bias either.
No, I mean, mine was Georgia bias.
You didn't think that he was better. Maybe it's because Alabama didn't throw the ball as much. But
yeah, they didn't. John Parker Wilson in the pocket, man. John Parker versus Matthew Stafford. What'd you expect?
I think I've told you some stories about my time with him. You know, I've spent time with him.
Who? Julio or John Parker?
John Parker.
No, I have not heard these stories.
I've watched 2 SEC championships with him in the suite at the Georgia Dome. Both of them were Alabama-Florida games, so it was never like a Georgia game. But or maybe one was – I think both times it was Florida. But back-to-back years, our guy Eddie, everybody, we were up there. Talk about a drunk fuck. I've got some stories about him because he remembered us, too, from the year before. And, I asked him questions the first year. I asked him, man, how was it playing for Saban? Just, candid questions or whatever. And he answered them truthfully, the whole 9. We were drinking. I was partying with him, essentially, up there in that suite. Good time. Good time.
We'll leave it there. Okay.
Yeah, he's a good time. Pause. But good time.
Yeah. Hey, one thing we didn't talk about because it happened after we recorded last week was Aaron Donald retired. Greatest defensive player of our lifetime, our football watching lifetime.
Sure.
Is it him or is it JJ?
I can agree with that. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, somebody could say JJ Watt.
I think Aaron Donald.
I'm just saying there could be a legitimate argument for JJ.
Same amount of DPOYs, so now those cancel out. You could say JJ got hurt more.
Yeah,
maybe that holds him back, but at the end of the day, injuries are part of the game. So if he was injured, he was injured.
Aaron Donald played 10 years, and 8 years he was an All-Pro.
And he made the Pro Bowl every year.
Yep.
He won Rookie of the Year.
All-decade team.
He's got a Super Bowl ring, something JJ doesn't have either. And made play a defining play of the Super Bowl. He ended the game.
Yeah.
By himself, like pressuring up the middle and getting to Joe Burrow to not be able to make that throw. So
yeah, it lost me money.
They lost me money overall. The Rams were 3.5 that game. They won by 3. But I did take the money line too, so I guess I didn't lose, but I did not win. What's going on?
All right, so
everybody's talking about they can't open it.
Well, no, because of the things that we say.
You put a buttocks in here, it looks like.
I did not put anything in there.
Somebody put a buttocks in here.
Did they? What a freak.
Who's Bambi? It's not. I know that's not Bambi.
No, that's apparently that's Salt Walker's baby mama. Some guy said he doesn't blame him. Fucking freaks. Well, I don't have anything else football. Is there we got a little time for some culture, don't we?
Yeah, we do. I absolutely have time for culture.
We got Future Metro dropping in about an hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, and then think about it. The tape is called We Don't Trust You. So a play on the if your Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. So
I know what I'm doing tonight before I go to bed.
I'll be giving it a twirl for sure. I'll be giving it a twirl.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it personally. Because when has Future put out a bad album?
I haven't liked a lot of his collab stuff. Like I didn't like the Young Thug collab, and I didn't like the Juice WRLD one.
I don't count those.
Even his last one, it's funny. Somebody broke down his sales. Even his last one wasn't to me really all that good. He had some hits on there, but let me see. Future's last good drop was.
I listened to his last album. I listened to it actually fairly recently.
Hold on. His last good album, I Never Liked You, it wasn't bad. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't fire. Like,
I like Puffin' Those Duties.
Life wasn't fire, but like, there's tracks on here that were like good. Like,
yeah, like Too Comfortable.
Yeah, Too Comfortable is like a top Future song to me.
Yeah,
like that's Life Is Good. I like Life Is Good.
Too Comfortable. Hold on. Let's spend some time on Too Comfortable.
He hasn't dropped a bop since Hendrix.
Let's talk about Too Comfortable for a second.
That's a top Future song.
Isn't that the song that you want to play around a woman who's important to you when she gets to acting too crazy?
Yeah. Bitch, don't get too comfortable.
I wasn't gonna touch on this topic on the pod, and I thought about hitting it on Truck Tales, and I just kind of forgot to do it. But I kind of want to do it, and I want to bring you into this nasty world that I live in sometimes. Are you okay with that?
Go ahead.
Hold on, here we go.
If it wasn't for y'all, I would really think that I ain't doing.
Shut up.
Because the industry I'm in does not recognize me.
Shut up, slut.
And to be clear, I'm speaking about the black spaces in the industry I'm in, because y'all know I don't give two damns about any of these other spaces.
Yeah,
but the black spaces is what I'm referring to, which is largely in part why I've realized like I need to shift out of this industry. Like I don't get invited to Essence Women in Hollywood. I've never been invited to the NAACP Image Awards.
Because you're not one of those hoes.
Nominated for an Image Award. Never been invited to the NAACP Image Awards. Never been honored at Black Girls Rock. Like, I've hosted these events. You know what I'm saying? I literally hosted the BET Awards in 2020 in my house. and I was not invited to the BET Awards since.
Should tell you something.
So I just want to thank y'all for always reminding me that I really am valuable, because the game and the industry that I've been in has never let me know.
Who is that?
Who? Yeah, who is this?
Amanda Seales, the devil.
Oh.
Somebody tagged me in the post, and I was like, look here, I'm not touching this on Instagram. I know the wrath of Amanda Seales.
You think she's got somebody that works with Zuck on in her favorites on her phone?
I know that she has a fan base who would die for her. Because if you saw my DMs during that time in my life, you'd be like, how do you care so much about this insignificant bitch?
They don't show their family that much love.
Dog, a dude told me that I can't touch the hem of her garment. And I'm like, I told her, like, hey, big dog, she ain't gonna fuck you for this, right? You know that, right? You ain't getting no pussy off this. And this
you couldn't touch the hem, nigga.
Like, I'm not one who revels.
Being able to touch the hem of a garment, nigga.
From Amanda Seales.
Nigga, I don't care. It could be Kim K or Beyonce. That is still like.
Yeah, you talking about Jesus, man.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, you're basically saying, nigga, this is God in true form. Like, you can't get close.
And I'm like, nigga, are you crazy? Like, dog.
It's brainwashed, bro.
I don't really revel much in people's misfortune.
It's brainwashed.
But when I see Amanda Seales being like, hey, why don't people fuck with me? And it's like, oh, because you're a shitty human being. Like, you're trash. You're the type of person to stand for a cause or take a stance and then get mad when people have a comment on it. Like, I don't think you're funny. I'm just not a fan. I don't think your views are well informed. I think you're somebody who says that you want equal rights for women and black people, but you really want to be the superior person. You say, hey, I stand for black people. Why don't black people rock with me? Because you suck. And I'm not saying you're not talented, because I'm sure you're talented because I know your name.
Yeah.
Haven't seen your work. Not interested in seeing your work. I used to listen to your political points, and then I go, oh, that chick's off her rocker.
Yeah.
And, Amanda Seales is one of the few people in the world that I used to be afraid of. I lost a very valuable Instagram because of her. There are stories I'll never, ever get to watch again because of what Amanda Seales did to me.
She took you out the game.
She took me out the game, and I didn't have Zuck on speed dial. I mean, I couldn't access Instagram from that phone for like 3 months because of hate speech. Hate speech, dog.
You promote that.
I don't promote that shit. I made a joke. You over here talking about some black men don't cheat, blah, blah, blah. Bitch, shut up. But where's Big Sean when you need him?
I think you used to have comedian as your thing, and then that's what she was like, comedian.
Oh, yeah, I had struggling comedian on my thing. Like, obviously, I have a real career.
Well, it's social media. It was all fun and games to begin with. It was never meant to be taken to the level that she wanted it.
No, it was a joke. Me calling myself a struggling comedian was a joke. I guess it wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't. Not to her.
But you know what is funny? Her crying on social media by not being accepted by the people in her career field. Because the fans are gonna promote you, they're gonna back you up, and they're gonna say, "No, Amanda, you're great. Those people are wrong." At some point, when a lot of people start saying something about you, they're probably right.
Yeah, no, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. That's basically what you're saying right now.
And I think all of us have gone through this in our lives where there's a trait about us or a way that we go about doing things, and we think it's good. We think we're on the up and up. But then at some point, we realize that nah, that ain't it. Because this keeps not working. And if this keeps not working, that means that everybody can't be wrong. At some point, I got to be wrong. I got to have some accountability and say, you know what? I'm pretty shitty with this.
Right.
But no. You can just go to the timeline and the fans can get in the comments and tell you that you're right, even though they've never met you. They're not in those meeting rooms with you. They're not doing any of those things around you.
Except whatever it is you said about said person.
Yeah.
And they need to know the context possibly of why you said it, where it came from, and what it meant.
Context doesn't matter anymore, Parlay Pete.
But it should.
I mean, I'm big on context mattering. Because you can snap up any words and use that to make a point, but like, can we contextualize it? Like, I don't even like going to church and the pastor using too few verses to get a sermon off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to focus on verses 8 through 10, I want you to read verses 1 through 20. Like, let me get that full context of what you're talking about to make sure what you're giving me is what God put in his book, right?
Right.
I don't want you talking about, be a cheerful giver, and that's all you're talking about. Tell me why I should give cheerfully.
Tell me why you give cheerfully.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that one. How much is the pastor paying tithes? That's like the president paying taxes. Conversation for another day. Last thing, Parlay Pete, because we said we're going to do a 2-hour show today.
Okay.
Did you see any of the rumblings around the Beyonce album?
I read that she didn't consider it a country album.
No, it's a Beyonce album.
Right. So I did see that aspect. Okay, I guess. I mean, but like the thing is that, well, Beyonce is such this power shift thing to where people just will kind of go with it no matter what she says. And it's one of those things where, well, whatever she says goes. Nobody can really have an opinion on it. And even if you do, it doesn't matter. So it's kind of like she's such an untouchable person. She'd have to be caught up like touching kids to like even remotely get like disqualified.
I don't think that's enough because it wouldn't get covered.
Well, it would be a innocent until proven guilty thing as opposed to guilty until proven innocent.
Like, remember,
like, why would she be touching kids? Beyonce ain't got to touch no fucking kid. Like, it'd be some shit like that, right? Like,
them kids should be happy that Beyonce wants to touch them.
Right. Really.
Like, bro, think about it. We got beat up for having comments on a Beyonce concert that we paid money to go to. That
we just said was
mid.
Yeah, it was below average. It wasn't what we expected. And, it wasn't that the aesthetics and everything weren't good. It was just, I don't know. I expected a little bit more, I guess. It was maybe more of my opinion on it. I thought we were going to get some classics. We didn't. She did the album and she did a song or two there, but it was never, it wasn't what we ordered. It wasn't what we thought Chef was going to be cooking up.
And I mean, even when we said Has Beyonce got some work done? Maybe, possibly.
Yeah. Well, and then of course, then she came out. There's a picture of her and Jay-Z, and people were like, she looks like she's bleaching her skin. Like,
it's like, how dare you even think that Beyonce is a hard worker? I go, I mean, Kim K got work done.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from her as a star. That's what they do.
Yeah, man. But anything else you want to hit, Parlay Pete?
Off the top of the dome, no. There might be one thing. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah. Go and see if there's just one more thing. Luka threw a oop to Kyrie today. Kyrie caught it. It was pretty filthy. And Kyrie threw a nasty oop to Derrick Jones Jr. Jesus Christ. Hello.
Hold on.
This ain't Texas. It goes down, 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 down.
Maybe we did pretty much hit it all, but
Austin Reeves put out his top 5 all-time bucket getters.
Oh, he's a hooper that we truly cares about opinion, right? Now, who's the white guy thinks a top 5?
No, I mean Austin Rivers. Sorry.
Oh, even worse, somebody not in the league. No disrespect to Austin Reeves, he's the top player in my class. So, he's a good player, but
Daddy saved him.
Who did he say, out of curiosity, just for shits and giggles?
LeBron, MJ, Kobe, KD, and Melo. Nobody can argue with that list.
So basically a personal top 5.
Yeah, no one can argue with that.
Well, nobody would have Melo probably in their top 5.
I'm never mad at it though, because
we watched him play.
Yeah. Oh,
you watched his whole prime too.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. Did I send you those comments that Urban told Joe?
Kobe
told Joe Burrow
will always be on everybody's list, by the way.
Huh? MJ, Kobe, and LeBron?
Yeah, for the most part, that's going to be on almost anybody's list. For the most part, I feel like those, you decipher the point guard and the center, is what most people tip. But at that point, and even though Kobe and Jordan's games are mirrors, you can obviously play Kobe at the 3. So it's kind of like,
or MJ at the 3. Who cares?
You probably put Kobe though. Kobe seems a little bit more wing built than Jordan.
Hey, so last thing, let me give you some no context alleged quotes from Urban Meyer to Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he's a D2 quarterback at best. He told him he throws like a girl.
Who actually reported this though?
Elite College Football.
Can we trust Elite College Football?
Let's see. They're verified and they have 66.5 thousand followers.
I don't know, Lee. I don't know if that's a trustworthy source. It wouldn't surprise me if he did say these things, but he also, I think when you sent it, I clicked and saw even the comment said, and he still gave him a scholarship. So it's kind of like
probably was already there, you know.
Yeah, but motivation.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said some no context quotes.
Yeah, that just, look, make your kicks, dipshit, and kicking them in the shin. That sounds really Herb like. It's like, okay, that makes a little bit of sense. That seems like something Herb would do. Just because he's the head ball coach. That's head ball coach talk. But him telling somebody that they throw like a girl and that they're D2, it's just, and he was like Mr. Ohio football. It's like, what are you trying to get in his head? What are we getting at?
Try to bring out the best in him.
But that's what I'm saying. Just, I don't know.
Internet's a wild place, but hey, Parlay Pete, man, it's been fun. We'll do this again next week.
Are you headed to Crew?
No.
Oh.
Not tonight. Gonna give me some lemon pepper honey wings, I'm thinking, because I'm actually hungry as shit.
Watch a little March Madness.
I don't even know if they have TVs in this venue anymore. I'm just gonna grab me some lemon pepper honey wings, probably have me a beer, and head
What
on
time?
back to the house.
We doing IPAs or something cold and light?
Probably Coors Light.
Okay, cold and light.
Yeah,
Silver
just
bullet.
just a little bit of piss.
Yeah. Just
Well,
something to kind of wet the palate with the wings and kind of.
Yeah, give me a little something before Future and Metro come out, and then I'll come home, bump some Future and Metro, and then hop into bed.
Yeah. NC State's about to screw my bet.
Were they about to lose?
Well, I took the under in the first half, but I also took Texas Tech money line, and the under was 69. So basically, they can't score more than 33 points. They're at 18 with 10 minutes. So
hey, it's college basketball. It can change quickly.
14 points in the next 10 minutes. Maybe they won't, but good chance they do.
Denver's having their way with the New York Knicks right now.
Yeah, I took them too. I've already won plenty of money off them. I've been betting them live since we've been sitting here because they were down and then they were plus odds. So I've already won money on them. But
I mean, because if Denver's down and it's early, who cares?
Denver.
But anyways, all right, Parlay Pete, man, this was fun. It'll be up soon or later. I don't know.
As always. Well, hold on. Even though we were going to do a 6-pack.
Oh yeah, we were going to do a 6-pack. You got a 6-pack?
Doing the 6-pack. If I do it, you'd have to put it up tomorrow. Or actually, I can do the Saturday games right now.
If you do the Saturday games,
they have up. Hold on. Let me see how many Saturday games they have up. I could do Saturday and tomorrow night, as long as you would have it up before tomorrow night.
I plan to clip it up tonight, but it'll be up tomorrow because I'm working a half day tomorrow.
Can you have it up before? Hold on. Can you have it up before 7?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me just put it together really quickly. If you'll have it up before 7, then I'm going to give 6.
I plan to get off tomorrow around about 12 o'clock because I got to work this weekend. So we usually work half days on the Friday before we work a weekend.
Okay. 1 second then. Ooh, you can get UNC at pretty good odds. UNC plays Michigan State Saturday, and UNC is minus 165 on the money. Those are pretty good odds. Okay, hold on. A couple dogs I really do like. Duke and Vermont, that should go over. Hold on, I just got to get one more in here. I feel like Houston's going to beat the shit out of Longwood. Yeah, we'll take it. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Parlay Pete's March Madness 6-pack. 6.
You know, the funny thing is that the idea of putting this up was really because we missed doing the picks, and this is a good prime opportunity to do it because the games are we know what direction they're headed in or whatever, but I just wanted to get off some picks. So here we go. We're going to start off with the games that are going to be later on tomorrow night. So Friday night games that are after 7 o'clock.
All right.
We'll start off with the first one that comes to mind. We got number 9, Texas A&M against number 8 seeded Nebraska. Give me Texas A&M on the money line. They have this game as a pick 'em. Nebraska's been a surprise team all year, but Texas A&M is much better than them. Texas A&M went to the SEC championship last year and this year. Pretty good basketball team. They beat Kentucky, who just fell earlier tonight, but we're going to roll with Texas A&M next. We got Vermont at Duke. Vermont scores a lot of points, and typically Duke does too. They have the over-under at 132. I think that's a little low for this game. So give me the over 132 Vermont. Number 13 Vermont at number 4 Duke. Next, we're going to go with the upset because that's what March Madness is truly all about. Upset alert. I like James Madison against Wisconsin in the 12 versus 5 matchup. James Madison It's been good all year. They opened the year beating Michigan State to start the season. Michigan State was a top 4 team. They beat them at Spartanburg. Where is that?
Lansing, East Lansing.
East Lansing. Yeah, they beat them there, and they've been winning games ever since. And they won a couple big games earlier this year. 30-plus win team. Kind of a prime upset. Wisconsin's been a disappointment anyways. They're kind of ranked high for that. But give me James Madison money line. Next, we got Longwood at Houston. Houston's pretty much been the best team. Them and UConn have been the best teams all year. Give me Houston minus 24. I expect them to honestly cover that spread. I know it's kind of big, but I actually expect them to cover that spread. And then we get to the Saturday games. We got number 11 Oregon at number 3 Creighton. Give me Creighton on the money line. Oregon's been pretty good. Honestly, they won the Pac-12. They closed out really strong. But I bet on them enough this year, too, to know that, they're really not that good. So they're hot, I guess, but Creighton's the better basketball team. So give me Creighton on the money line. And then finally, you got Michigan State against North Carolina. 2 blue bloods. North Carolina, a lot of people think that they're going to win the national championship. I actually do like North Carolina in this spot because it's kind of too close. Michigan State's lost a lot of games this year. Give me North Carolina on the money line.
All right, so we got Texas A&M on the money line, Vermont at Duke over 132, James Madison on the money line, Houston minus 24, Creighton on the money line, and UNC on the money line.
That sounds good to me.
You like it, I love it. And guess what? It's not time for Lee's 3 because I don't watch college basketball and I do not feel comfortable giving out picks because I'm uninformed.
Well, Lee's got a 10-pack of wings he's got to tackle.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, dog. This was fun. I'll talk to you in 5 minutes in text.
Okay. All right, brother.
All right, dog.
All right.